Hi, my name is Riddhi, and I'm really happy to have been selected as a habit hero by Team Harappa from Harappa Education. Um, this lockdown, I began by attempting to raise rupees 10 lakhs as a part of a fundraiser, and the idea was to reach out to communities around my house. It snowballed and spiraled into a movement that allowed me to raise over 5.5 crores, approximately 6 crores towards the end of my 100-day stint. In about 70 days, I raised 5.5 crores. I don't know how this happened. A lot of people have been asking me, how did you do this? Why did you do this? What made you do this? Um, my answer to that is I don't know what made other people not do this. I don't have any strategy or any fixed sort of plan that I rolled with. I didn't begin with the intention of raising like 5 crores or something. The idea was to go small, see what I could do in my own area. And I realized that there were a few things that really made this sort of work and explode into what it did turn into. So some of what I'm going to share with you is this. Um, I come from a great school and a really solid upbringing. Kindness has always been at the forefront of everything that was encouraged as a part of schooling. And at home, also, I think helping has just been a way of life. It's not been a let's volunteer every Saturday sort of a gig. Change making for my family and for my inner circle has never been a part time affair. It's always involved all parts of us, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, really setting time aside for this idea of giving back and not letting it remain an idea. So, 5 practices that I can share with you from the top of my head are that just start. If you're thinking of doing something good, just start, because till you don't start, you don't know how many people are interested. People don't know that you're doing this. It's always going to remain an idea in your head till you actually put it into action. So start. If you want to do good and if you have started, just reach out and ask questions. Ask people who you think are smart. Ask people who have an alternate perspective from yours. Just reach out. Don't feel small. Don't feel. I mean, even at the risk of sounding stupid or silly, how does it matter if you're getting your answers? So start. Do what you want to do. Don't wait for approvals and validation and permissions. Ask your questions. It's all right. There are enough number of people out there who are very happy to respond to queries, and I have never come across people, at least in India, who will say नहीं मुझे advice नहीं देनी है. So take your chance and ask for your advice, ask for your inputs. Um, for me, something that honestly stood out is the fact that I have a habit of placing my trust in strangers. I see what they're doing, I get a sense of how I'm feeling about their sort of social persona or the ability to influence their opinions. Trust them to answer your queries to the best of their abilities. And just the way I placed trust in people, I realized that there was an overwhelming amount of trust that came my way. Not from friends and family alone, but from a lot of strangers who put copious amounts of money into my fundraiser. Also into my fundraising efforts outside of my solo fundraiser. And these are not people that I know, these are not people who I've ever heard of, but who randomly called out of the blue saying, listen, you seem to know what you're doing. And can you manage a fund of this much from my end? And can you put it where it belongs? Can you put it to a good place? Um, so I am deeply overwhelmed by the sort of experience I had of people trusting me, of allowing me to do whatever I want to do with their money. And I don't think that this comes from just a sort of a strong LinkedIn profile or a solid CV or something. It comes with how intensely one is giving and how openly and authentically one is presenting themselves. I saw an increase. I mean, of course, the economy dipped, the market failed, a lot of things happened. But for me, there were certain things that absolutely rose, and they sort of boomed and exploded like never before in my experience. Generosity, authenticity, interconnectedness, dependency, compassion are things that went way beyond their usual sort of marks on my scale. And I think this is an experience that people have had pan countries and cities and states. Um, Something that I learned, something that will stay with me for life as an experience which will remain unmatched, is how everyone wants to do good. Um, yeah, some of us want to do good by diving into something ourselves, and we like to select what we want to do. And then there are some people who want the opportunity given to them on a tray. Uh, that for me has been a formative sort of that's going to remain like a very strong experience for me, because it's not like people want to have nothing to do with the larger good. I have never come across someone who says that, like, if I have an opportunity and if it's so easy for me to make such a big impact, I still want to have nothing to do with it. I've never come across somebody like that. And that just got heightened and strengthened and accentuated in this lockdown, that everybody wants to do good. There is intrinsic goodness, there is an inherent need to want to be of relevance and to want to be of help to somebody out there. It's just about how the circumstance sort of poses itself and how much you are in the position to give. Um, the other thing is about how collaboration and not confrontation is key. A younger version of me would have said, "Arey, government should have done this, authority should have done that." I would have written some very rant-like posts on social media. I would have had spells of utter disappointment and being upset during the lockdown, but I had very few of those moments, because for me it was just about joining the next dot and finding the link, finding the gap, being able to plug the leak, and not thinking about what XYZ MLA should be saying or what this particular civic body should be doing. At the back of your mind, it's important to be aware of what the state's responsibilities are, what the center is due to do. However, what is in your hand in that given circumstance, what your skill set allows you to do, what your intelligence makes possible for you to sort of influence, is what you need to look at that given point. And that has worked wonders for me in the lockdown. I've had days of sleeping for not more than 3.5 hours, and I haven't come out feeling exhausted at all, because of how much I was being replenished by the act of giving. My network, the network that I've built in the last 100 days by reaching out on social media, by being on the phone all the time, by working on the laptop so much, for being such a grassroots person and for someone who's very comfortable out there in communities, working over the phone and the laptop has been a massive challenge. But having said that, the network I've built in the past 100 days is a lot stronger and a lot wider, a lot bigger than what I might have been able to build across 50 high profile CSR conferences or social sector meets, and what I've managed to build in the last 5 years, which is really saying something, because I basically live out of a backpack and I live in remote areas. I work with a lot of NGOs and groups. I do have a pretty decent network, and for me to say that I have built a bigger network than what I could have in 5 years is really saying something. I think I have, of course, the bank balance and the bank account will not reflect it, but the return on investment of my time, my intent, my deep resonation with some phenomenal work that people and organizations have been doing, feeling so vulnerable and feeling exactly or attempting to feel what the masses were going through during this period of time, has given me the highest return on anything that I could have ever imagined. It's the highest return on investment of my time and my skills in a given situation. I've emerged a lot wealthier, a lot richer, a lot more sure of myself. My faith in the human heart, my faith in people's capacity to give is more than it's ever been before. And I'm so grateful that I jumped into action and that I rose to the situation that the lockdown posed for all of us. So that is my story, and yeah, thank you for the opportunity and for allowing me to share it.